Welcome to the studio. This video is about how applicant tracking systems work, and more specifically, if you're an employer or an HR professional and you're looking for better ways to track interview candidates, promote your jobs, get a good database and talent pool built up in your business, that is what applicant tracking systems do. This video is going to go through the crux of how you could do this with both a free solution and a paid solution. A note starting out with this video, I have time-stamped different sections because this topic is quite broad and you see people that are coming in looking at ways to either implement a paid solution and what the options are on that arena, or folks that want to look at free and how to implement that. So I've put the timestamps in there. The way it progresses, it starts with the free solution and then I go into the paid options we explored as a business and how to implement that. But don't feel like you have to go through this video from start to finish all the way through. If you're someone looking specifically at premium applicant tracking systems, you can skip to the timestamp where I talk about those and demo the solution that my business uses. Real quick, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. It really helps the channel grow and allow me to put out more of this type of content. This is exactly how we do this. So as you can see here on the screen, essentially I have a Google document opened up, and this is basically all it is. This is the job description for an internal job that we have in the company. And basically what it is we have kind of the marketing, if you will, the sort of selling of the position, telling people what it's all about, kind of giving them a feel and a bit of a fun, lighthearted vibe to our culture. And then we talk a bit about the company being fast growing in Austin and that we're an ad agency. And then I really go into the details that are most high level and specific about the job, followed by requirements and gotta haves, the things that are most important that really a candidate should not apply for this job unless they have some of these specific requirements in their skill set and in their abilities and attributes. And then we give kind of an extra kind of edge to what it would be if you were someone applying for this job and you wanted to actually have that edge and what that would take and what those skills would look like. Lastly, we finish off with what we offer, and that's a job description. You can set up a free Google Drive. We use Google Apps for our email, and so we get a little bit more storage and features, but it's just going to Google Docs and creating a document and writing out a framework. And you can go online and search for your competitors in your marketplace and find examples of how they're describing their job and model and build a framework for your job. So that's how you do the job descriptions. It's really effective and important to screen and create some sort of screening process. So this was a job I posted years back when we had another division in the company, and we essentially asked people to write out details about certain things. They wanted to explain, we were looking for third-party hires that were in different marketplaces, not necessarily in the US. I believe this was a sales role at the time, and we were hiring a lot of people from Serbia and the Philippines. And so we were asking people from Upwork to fill out this form, and we got 13 responses. And you can set this up in Google Forms, and you can basically put in a job description. You can pull in some photos if you need to. You can set up different types of questions, form fill, short answer, a little bit longer answer. And ultimately it spits out a spreadsheet like this where you'll be able to kind of dive into the different responses that people have. And this can kind of help you sort out and think through potential candidates and help you figure out what would make sense for hiring. So that's the form kind of screening part of the process. Because if you remember earlier, we talked about how you're going to get a lot of applicants and maybe not all of them are qualified. And it's going to take a lot of time if you get a bunch of applicants and they're all literally applying for the job at the same time. So we don't want that. We want to have the ability to kind of filter and screen and get some perspective on specific questions that we have. That's why the form is really valuable there. Now, the other thing that we are going to want to do, or that you're going to want to consider, is having a sort of applicant tracking mechanism or method to your madness, I should say. And what I would say with this is you just need a way for people that come to your entire process for hiring to kind of see what is going on in terms of where they are in that funnel, in that process. So for example, when you first get applicants, you might call them leads or applicants. And I just set up, this is called Trello. What I did was I just set up a board all you can do is go to Trello and create a free account. And then within Trello, you can actually make different types of boards and templates, and it allows you to kind of set up a board. And then what you can do is you can create cards for each of the inbound leads that you have. And you can also create columns. So I could literally just archive this list, completely wipe it out. I could add a new list if I have, round, like say second interviews, and I could make a second interview section and drag it over. So it's kind of just tiles, and then you can move people in, and you could call this the first interview, for example. And then each card you enter would be like an applicant. So you could say Rafael Suarez, let's just say, as an example. And say Rafael was reviewed, his credentials were reviewed. You can open up these cards. You can add in attachments like their resume. You can put in notes here, like looks like a good fit, good prior experience. And then down here, you can have comments, and you can add those, and you can collaborate with these cards and share these boards and have multiple team members interacting on these different cards that you have. And so it can be very, very helpful, and it's free. So when you're first starting out, you're looking for ways to save money, to just make sure you execute on these specific things, but you don't want to spend a lot of money or extend yourself. Totally get it. Time is your asset. In that case, you can set up something like this, and it might work well for you to go in and just build out some sort of customer relationship management, CRM, but we call them an applicant tracking system in the HR world. So again, each card expands out. You can attach their resume, other information like a cover letter, maybe a personality profile, and you can drag them along the process to wherever you want. And you'll be able to, at any time, maybe you set one of these boards up for each of your job number 1 hiring. And then you call that job. And then you have another board out here for the next job. And now you have a system here that is called or referred to a lot like an applicant tracking system, where you're tracking the applicants in the funnel of your hiring process, seeing which people have gone through the interviews. And you're also being able to like add notes like 8 out of 10 hire, found good, etc. And you can add those notes, save those comments, and it even timestamps when people have talked to them. So that is kind of level 1 in terms of how you would implement a lot of these core keys to your business and actually do them. Let's step into the second realm of opportunities here and talk about the actual use of what's called a official ATS or applicant tracking system. This is a system that's basically going to do everything I just showed you: job description, forms, then tracking the applicants wherever they are in the funnel. So that's what this next thing is going to do. And I'm going to show you exactly what we used. But first, I'm going to mention that we tested multiple different options. And so I'm just looking at our forms here that we had. We went through and actually had the following forms that we tested. So we looked at Workday, we looked at Talent Lift, we looked at Breezy.hr, and then we looked at Greenhouse.io, Lever. Fresh Team is ultimately what we went with, and Join Home Base. And these all are different platforms built by different companies designed to essentially teach you the differences between HR and show you how to kind of track your applicants, your jobs, your HR services in your business. What I found as we went through the list here was that a lot of these tools are built because they're basically just very robust corporate style structures. They'll text applicants, they'll have all kinds of features, but then you're paying per head count in your business, and that can add up very quickly as your business grows. And a lot of times you just don't need all the features. You just want that bare bones necessity. And so for us, and this is not a pitch, I'm not getting any sort of affiliate bump for this, I just found that Fresh Team was by far the easiest and simplest platform to use. And I'm going to show you right now exactly what this looks like. So when you go to Fresh Team, you're going to set up your company and all that jazz, and then you'll work with them and decide on your pricing. I think we're on a $79 a month plan. This is a demo account. And really, it can look overwhelming, and there's so many tools out there. I don't want this to take up or digress too much, but just go to the recruitment section and hit recruit. This is all you need to know. So where we had our Google Drive and Docs over here, we now have one place where all of the active jobs are listed. And with this, I think it's $80. With that plan, we're able to list up to 20 active jobs at a time. And that's usually enough for us to cover our bases. And then we have to switch in and out and provide certain logins. I think we can have 20 logins, or maybe it's 10 logins, something like that, where we have like 10 active members and they can log in. Sometimes maybe you have only 5 and they charge you per login. But basically you get your jobs and you can go in here and click on this job, and then you can actually look at the job details and it shows you the full job description, just like we had in Google Docs. You can also look at this job. So if you come down to our career site, this is a demo, but it shows you how the job looks to the public when you set this up. So it shows you here, it shows you the basics, what you got to have, what we offer. They can click apply and they can provide their name. They can upload their past employer information. They can add their education. They can do the CAPTCHA, and they can add in their social networks. I think it also, when you do this, will allow you to add in your resume as well. I haven't gone through this funnel personally in a while, but what happens is eventually you start to capture candidates from these jobs. So this job description sits here and you're able to kind of put everything together in there. And then from there, you're able to capture all of your candidates, and then it sorts them by leads, applicants, screening, interviews, and then offer hire. And so you can kind of see some demos in here. I didn't want to show our companies because we have people in there. And you can also see information like what stage of the process they're in, who owns the applicant, and it's kind of like moving the applicant along in the company. Usually if you're the small business, is probably the CEO or the head of HR, likely probably both, and it is in my case. And what you're going to find is that it'll capture information like their resume, their profile, application details. And I will mention too, within the job here, you have the ability to set up a questionnaire form and do an application form where you can fill out, I think, 4 or 5 questions here and have some like select options or just short fill answers. And it captures all of that in the application process, which is, in my opinion, very awesome because it puts everything together in one place. So you have your jobs, you go in here and you can see where your candidates are sitting. We've got several here in this example where they're in the interview process. One has a higher thumbs up. When you click on the candidate, you can kind of see how it's tracking in terms of the summary. You can click over to the interviews tab. You can add a comment and say, I'm not sure about this person, and tag your teammate from the hiring team like this and go post the comment. And then over here, it's going to show interviews that were conducted by your team members. It also sends an email and integrates with their email to send out a calendar invite and notify the candidate as well as you. So it can get complicated, and we're not supposed to be going through the scope of all this, but you can see feedback of their interview and everything. So I just found this super helpful. And ultimately for me, it's made our hiring process much more organized. So don't get overwhelmed with all the details there. I really just wanted to show you roughly what you can do. And I never used an applicant tracking software until about 1.5 years ago. And now it's a core part of our business in terms of just maintaining and building our talent and staying with it, because frankly, we have talent pools now for a lot of the core jobs in the business. And it allows us to reach out and tap those pools and just keep things more organized and see all the notes and the references. And yeah, so anyways, if you made it this far, you are a superstar, and I appreciate you watching it. And drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all these points. If you're new, hit that subscribe button. It really helps the channel grow, and I appreciate that. And we will see you in the next one. Thanks a lot.